RWBY Chibi Season 2, Episode 9, Coming Home to Roost. Really enjoyed this episode. I loved all three skits for this one. The first one was really awesome with Qrow trying to be, once again, the super cool uncle. And we have the girls talking about him, how he's, kind of cool, but at the same time he is, a crazy drunk guy, and he's not exactly a role model and stuff. And the whole way through the skit, he's in, his animal form, and he keeps just hitting the window. So he runs into the room, and, I just love the way they did it, where he runs in, rushing, pushes the window open, then runs back out, and they have him, breathing super heavy, and they do, kind of the X over his eyes, because he's, so tired and running. So I love the way they did that, and he still pops up, ta-da, and they're Yang and Ruby are still both holy crap, that was super cool. So it was just really funny the way it played out, where it's that was clearly him that ran into the room just to open the window, and he just had to have that cool entrance, check it out, I'm here. So I love the way they did that for sure. Really enjoyed the second and third skit as well. I like the way both of those played out. And the middle one I like because we got to see a bunch of the characters. I really love the music. I like that version of, it was the Volume 4 opening. And I really like that. I thought that was actually really cool. So hopefully we get a full version of that, because that wasn't on the Volume 4 soundtrack. So I was like, oh, that's actually something we hadn't heard before. Was it wasn't exactly 8-bit. It was kind of 8-bit, but not really. It was just the instruments they were using made me kind of think of 8-bit music, but it wasn't actually 8-bit. But I really liked that. I was I actually really like this version of the song. They always do a bunch of different versions of the songs on here. I'm I would love to hear full versions of this. And it's it's almost gotten to the point where RWBY Chibi could have its own soundtrack as well, because it's always a bunch of cool instrumental versions that don't have the dialogue. And I always love them. Every time we hear them, I'm I actually would want to hear a full version of that, that style of, whatever random song it is. So I really like that. Once again, they did the music. And of course, it goes down the line. Everybody's protesting for something. We get to see a bunch of the characters. Actually, we get to see all the teachers. For whatever reason, Weiss, being who she is, she was protesting for more homework on the weekend. So I thought that was pretty funny. They had Zwei there with his no homework on the weekends, but it was spelled all wrong and stuff. So I love that one. But it was really cool. They kind of just pan across and get to see a bunch of the characters. And then of course, it gets to Neo, and they have her with the speaker, and then, of course, she pulls up a sign that's just the way I speak. So I like that, just, kind of playing on that obvious joke that she doesn't actually speak. So I really enjoyed that. And then the ending skit, which may have been my favorite, just because it was funny, because it kind of works so well, and it's Yang teaching Jaune how to be, more assertive, and him becoming, a Yang man. And I thought that was pretty awesome, him saying, we're gonna, go on a date, him talking to Weiss, of course, and we're gonna go on a date, wear something nice, and, I'll pick you up later, and she's like, okay, and it's cool, and he's just going through these random situations, and Zwei's about to pee on him, and he's just no, and then, talking to the guy, and he's more, he wants more noodles and stuff. And it was just really simple. We get to see the mini Beowulf again, which I thought was cool, because we haven't seen that in a minute, so that was pretty awesome. But I love the way it played out, and of course he took it a little too far. He's how about an appetizer? And so of course he gets frozen in a block of ice, and then Zwei just comes along and kind of pees on the block of ice. So that's ultimately the way the episode ends. But I really liked it. We got to see a bunch of the characters, even if they didn't really speak. We got to see a ton of people during kind of the sweeping shot during the second skit. But I really liked all three of them in this one. I thought it was really cool to see the characters, and it was really simple for the second one, because literally no one spoke, but just the way they had the characters placed out, it made a lot of sense. It starts with the faunus, equality for faunus and stuff, and then no more homework on weekends, and then, like I said, it goes to the teachers, and, Weiss is in the background for them. So I like the way that played out. And the old guy, I guess they were in front of his shop, and that's why he was so pissed off. I thought it was funny, he's just behind everybody, and he's just really mad. I thought that was going to be kind of where the skit led to, him being super mad that everyone was protesting in front of his store, and then it ended up going to a little joke with Neo, but he was just there throughout the whole thing, really mad. So I like that. And then of course Jaune being more assertive was definitely funny, and it was just simple stuff too. It was he's being more assertive, but it's the simplest stuff, telling a dog not to pee or telling a dog no is almost 100% of being around a dog, especially if it's a puppy. I guess Zwei technically isn't a puppy, but it's just funny. It's it's the simplest stuff, him saying no, and then especially when he wanted the noodles, I was that's different than being assertive. That's telling Zwei not to pee on him is one thing, or telling the mini Beowulf not to pee on a tree. That's one thing. They're pets. But him saying he wants more noodles, I'm that's almost stealing a little bit. The guy didn't, he paid for a specific amount of food, and then he's just I want more, and it worked. And I was that's so weird, but it just made it even funnier to me, because I'm that's a totally different situation. That doesn't just come from being assertive. That's you already paid for a specific thing, and then you went extra. So I thought it was pretty funny, but I really enjoyed this episode, of course. I'm excited for the next one. I know I'm obviously a week behind because I don't have like the first stuff, so I've been doing all these reviews a week late, but I'm still excited. I don't know what the next episode is. I try not to look at the I try not to go on the Rooster Teeth to see like the thumbnails because I'm like, oh crap, I'll just be excited for like, you know, a full week and I'll have to wait so long knowing that I may or may not see a new character. Like knowing that Qrow was in this, I saw it over the weekend. I just didn't have the chance to actually do it until today. But I was like, okay, cool. And that would really suck to have known. It was just like when Oobleck first showed up. I saw that on Rooster Teeth's website and I was like, crap, I gotta wait a full week before I see that. And I was like, of course, that's, you know, the episode that I have to kind of wait my full week again. But I really enjoyed this and I was glad to see, you know, the characters. I really loved all three of the skits, but of course would love to know what you guys thought about this one, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And once again, we have more characters being introduced and we're having, you know, different kind of pairings for the characters. Like I feel like this is actually, oddly enough, the first time they've really put Jaune and Yang together, and like that was basically the point of the skit, was that it was the two of them kind of teaming up. I would love to know which characters you guys would like to see team up during the Chibi version of the series, because there are so many characters, new characters and old, some characters that we still haven't really seen yet. I mentioned, I can't even remember if it was in my last review or the one before, we haven't seen Penny in like a super long time, so I would love to see Penny teamed up pretty much with anyone just to see her come back. Plus she's such a unique character and she didn't really interact with anyone during the series outside of like RWBY and the girls for like a little bit during the end of volume 1. So I would love to see them kind of create, even if technically they aren't canon, I would love to see them create you know, sort of just new interactions between Penny and like any of the other characters. I just think that would be really cool because, you know, she's such a unique character and she's so weird, the things she says and does. So I would love to see Penny kind of just paired up with anybody, but I would love to know what Chibi pairs you guys would like to see. It doesn't just have to be two people, any groupings or anything like that. What Chibi groups of characters you guys would like to see kind of thrown together. And like I said, of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general, so please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.